Hi there, friends. I am recording this on my laptop, so I apologize if the video quality is not the greatest. My laptop's a little old, and my recording device is probably not the greatest. I have been kicking around the idea for this video ever since I accidentally deleted my Depression Sucks video. Yes, this is my 2017 in review, but I'm also going to cover just a little bit of a backstory so you understand how I got to where I started in 2017. So, if you would like to, please pause this video now and go get yourself a snack and some kind of liquid refreshment. Fluff up your pillows, get nice and comfortable because I have no idea how long this video is going to be. And I tend to ramble, so that might extend it a little as well. All right, so backstory. I'm pretty sure I've suffered from depression ever since I was a teenager. I had always felt sad, had really low self-esteem, was constantly down on myself, and always thinking about how I'd rather be dead than wasting oxygen and space on this planet. When I went to university, I studied psychology. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology, so a lot of my self-diagnosis did come from what I had learned in school, but I wasn't properly, formally diagnosed until this year by a professional. For years, I tried coping with it. I took niacin because I had seen some documentary on Netflix where they talked about some woman being cured of her depression by taking like thousands of milligrams of niacin a day. I was always terrified of that idea, so I would just take what was in a supplement I bought at the grocery store. I would also self-medicate with alcohol. So anybody who was ever concerned about me having an alcohol problem in the past, I probably did. I wasn't an alcoholic. Like, I didn't drink constantly, but when I was really feeling down, I would find myself trying to get drunk just so I could suppress some of the pain and sadness that I felt. I didn't talk to a lot of people about my issues because I didn't want people to worry about me. I cared a lot about what people thought of me, so I didn't want anybody to think, oh great, there's that miserable girl. I actually didn't tell anybody about my suicidal thoughts probably until 2015, 2016, and even then telling someone, they were like, oh God, you think about that all the time? And so I stopped talking, I stopped telling anybody about that as well. It was a constant thought. A constant, you are worthless, you suck. I could go into that more, but I would recommend you check out my last video about the bad voices and how to deal with them, because that was a huge struggle for me for a long time, and that affected my self-esteem. So we fast forward now to 2016, the summer of. I was working for a company that I couldn't stand. I don't want to name the name of the company in case somebody wanted to come after me, but I worked for a global health insurance company, and you could probably guess who it is by the fact that I'll tell you, they were going through a merger last spring, and I think because of that merger, they were really cracking down on people, and my production started to go downhill, and my manager was telling me that if I didn't improve, I was going to get terminated. And I had never been fired from a job before, so that killed me. And from that point on, my depression just got way out of hand. I was crying constantly, feeling sad and down. I was trying to find another job before I got fired, so I was going to job interviews for places that I didn't want to work at. I even got hired somewhere, and then last minute I was like, no, this is not the right fit for me. And by like October of 2016, I was crying every single day. I worked from home, so while I was working, I was crying at my desk, feeling really down all the time. November came around, the election. I know everybody else was feeling it then, and I reached a point where I hated being around myself. It was frustrating. So this time last year, I was always sad, always down on myself, not looking forward to starting another year. So that catches us up to January of 2017. I was waiting to hear back from a job that I had applied at, being told by my boss that I was going to get fired soon. Just feeling at the end of my rope. I went with my in-laws to Washington, D.C. We participated in the Women's March on Washington. That was an amazing experience, and for maybe a week after that, I felt good, but then I was able to quit my job at the insurance company, and I took on a job at a doctor's office. I was supposed to do reception and billing and coding for them, but that job turned out to be a nightmare. It was somewhere that I did not belong, and I shouldn't have been working there, and that just really put the nail on the coffin, I think. So, February, I'm working at this job that I hated even more than the previous job. I would come home every day and just sob and drink and then get up in the morning and do it all over again. And February, I believe it was February 26th. It might have been the 25th. I can't remember. I probably should have got out a calendar and really looked at this before I started this video, but I decided that day I wanted to dress up. I like doing makeup and cosplay and stuff, so I dressed up cute. I had on a wig and a little outfit and makeup and blue contacts and the works, and I decided I wanted to get drunk and get on Skype and chat with friends. So I had 2 bottles of wine. I had gotten on Skype and was talking to 2 of my friends, and the depression took over. I don't remember much from this, but apparently I had gone from happy to I want to die. I was telling my friends how lonely and sad I felt, which I isolated myself a lot. I kept stuff from people. The people that I did talk to, their love and support never sunk in, so I felt so alone. I told my friends I wanted to die. And then in my drunken state, I took out the only thing I could find was my glass nail file. Yes, it was a nail file made out of glass. And thankfully, I was stupid and drunk and didn't see the pair of scissors that was on the other side of me, behind me. And I took the glass nail file and I started just scratching the shit out of my wrist with it. My friends, all they could see was me kind of doing this and not anything else. They couldn't see what was in my hand. And apparently I passed out shortly after, and then my Skype died. My screen went black, and honestly, if I was in their situation, I would have done the same thing. One of them called my local police. I remember at the time being kind of bitter about it, God, I can't believe my friends thought I'd actually go through with it. But looking at my wrist the next day, I did scratch the shit out of my wrist with that nail file. I mean, I didn't get very far, but I did have a mark on my wrist for a day or two. So anyway, the police came. They knocked on my door. They forced me to leave my apartment and go down to an ambulance, and the ambulance was talking to me, and they took me to the hospital. I was in a tiny little room with a bunch of cameras and a door with a window that had bars on it. They were testing my urine. They came in and took blood from me. They had to do that a couple times because I had apparently had so much alcohol in my system that they weren't getting a proper reading on my blood. I know I blacked out a few times, but counselors would come in and talk to me about my experiences. I do recall one of them saying, how often do you think about killing yourself? And I'm like, oh, all the time. And she's like, oh God. And I'm like, isn't that normal? And she was like, no, normal people don't think about killing themselves all the time. And I'm like, oh, okay. So eventually I was talking to a nurse who suggested that I be admitted to their inpatient program. And I told her I couldn't do that. I didn't want to miss that much work. I couldn't afford it. I didn't know what the insurance would cover. So she did let me go. She gave me the referral to an outpatient program. I called off work the next day. I was calling this outpatient program and no one was answering the phone. I freaked out and decided to go back and be admitted to the hospital, but because I wasn't suicidal that day, they told me they couldn't admit me, but they gave me the number to a different outpatient program. I called them the next day. They did answer. I got in, and that's when I started group therapy. And let me tell you something. You go into group therapy thinking, this isn't going to help me. But the more you hear other people's stories, the more you start to relate and see that you're not alone in your struggles. It's amazing. It was an amazing experience. And on top of that, I finally got to meet with a psychiatrist. I got diagnosed with severe depression and general anxiety disorder, and she put me on Cymbalta, which is an antidepressant. I was still trying to juggle going to group therapy and going to work at this doctor's office. At one point, she wanted me to come to work more. And I told her, I don't know when I'm done with group therapy. I don't know when I'll be able to come back to work full time. And the pressure that they were putting on me, I snapped. And I had my first real panic attack. I quit that job immediately. And I spent a month focusing on just getting better, waiting for the medication to kick in, going to group therapy on a regular basis. And that's when my life really started to turn around. When the medication started working, my God, it was like a light switch came on in my head. Like I could just feel that. Everything started, the synapses connected, and I started getting that beautiful serotonin, which the medication on its own, of course, wasn't the miracle. It was having that medication, opening my brain to the cognitive behavioral therapy that they were teaching us in group therapy. The words that were coming out of people's mouths finally started sinking in, and I started seeing the love and support that I had been getting for years that I hadn't recognized. The voice in my head telling me I was worthless started fading. And not only that, but I started seeing the things that I'm really skilled at. I had friends on Facebook telling me that I should do something with makeup because I adore makeup. And I adore making people see how beautiful they can look and feeling so good and confident about their appearance. And I had decided the beginning of April to look into going to school to learn more about makeup. Unfortunately, in this area, there isn't anything that just teaches you makeup, but I got in contact with the Paul Mitchell School and found out they do makeup in their aesthetics program. So I registered. I needed some help with financial aid, but I got it, and I was able to go to school. So from April until this past Wednesday, December 20th, a week ago Wednesday, December 20th, I graduated from Paul Mitchell School, and next month in January, I'll be applying and signing up to take my state board exam so I can become a licensed esthetician. Going to school taught me a lot. So I stopped here with April. In May and June, I was trying really hard to focus on school. I hadn't been in school since 2006 when I graduated with my bachelor's degree. So going back to school was hard. Trying to get into the program and really focus on this is what I want to be doing, and trying to make friends with classmates whom I didn't have a whole lot in common with. I was older than most of my classmates. Like, a lot of my classmates were 18 to 22, and that's hard to do when you're 34 years old and you've gone through life, and you just finished group therapy and figuring your shit out. Let's see. Yeah, in May I turned 34. In June I got more involved. I decided to get more involved with politics. I was part of a group that I joined in January that we call ourselves Connect, and we talk about trying to improve our community, bringing people together. One of our main issues is trying to fix the deportation in this area of undocumented citizens. So in June, we decided to go to a local kind of festival and sell yard signs that say hate has no home here in different languages. And it was beautiful, and we had people come and buy our signs and talk to us and join our group. And we've expanded our group quite a bit. And there I met this amazing woman who I feel like she's my mentor now. I kind of aspire to be like her. She's very zen. She's very focused. She's an esthetician as well. I'm not going to name her name, but if she's watching this, she knows who she is. And I met her, and she told me about not only her career, but the opportunity to volunteer at a local cat shelter. So she hooked me up with that. And in July, I was helping out at the cat shelter and finding that was so amazing of an experience. Cats are therapeutic in and of themselves, but doing something outside of my home, helping out and meeting new people was amazing. I met another friend. She's been awesome. We kind of struggle with the same kinds of things, so I've been able to help her, and she's been able to help me, and that's been great as well. Also in, I believe it was July or August, we held a rally against hate. I'm so sorry I don't have my dates right. It was over the summer. The group Connect decided to hold a rally against hate, and I volunteered to be one of the speakers. So I got out a lot of my feelings on, not judging people by their outside, but focusing on the quality of their character. I also volunteered to be a makeup artist backstage for a local theater production. So I got to finally use my makeup experience, and that was so much fun. Being able to do makeup on other people and know that, they're going to be out on stage and people are going to see my job. And that was really rewarding. And I got to meet some cool people there as well. One of the big things that my therapist, I started therapy shortly after school. I got to do one-on-one therapy instead of group. She had told me to get out of my apartment more and socialize with people, because while I was depressed, I was isolating myself, and the only socializing that I did was online. And don't get me wrong, people who are watching this, some of them might be my Twitter followers, and I absolutely adore everyone I've met on Twitter. I've made some really good online friends. The two people who I was talking to the night that I wanted to kill myself, I had met on Twitter. So that experience has been amazing. I have several people that I consider my best friends that I've met online and have never met in real life. And that sucks, because I would love to meet them in real life someday. Two of them live in the UK, so I have no idea how that's going to happen. I might need to do some saving and fundraising in the next few years. But yeah, this summer I got involved in more volunteering. the cat shelter, the Connect group, doing the makeup, and I felt like I really found my place in the world. So in the fall, finishing up school, having various tests to take, practical exams, getting to know classmates, making friends, all of that has been such a huge difference from where I was a year ago. Now, if I cry, it's something that has legitimately brought me to tears, like Star Wars. Or watching, Disney films. Sometimes when I'm on my monthly cycle, of course, your hormones go out of control a little bit, but not nearly as bad as they used to. For me, a glass of wine or a piece of chocolate and I'm fine. Which, going into that, I've had people who've been telling me they were concerned that I still drink alcohol. I still enjoy wine and beer, but I don't use it as a way to medicate myself now. I like the taste of it. I like exploring new wines and new beers, meeting up with friends and trying things. I don't do it alone in my room trying to get drunk. If I get drunk, it's an accident because I'm still not used to my medication combined. I know you got to be careful not to drink too much on medication. I do get that. I'm not stupid. But, you drink one beer and then you're like, ooh, I feel that a lot more than I used to. But yeah, the medication, they did increase my dosage over the time. So now I'm on like 60 milligrams and it's perfect. Like, I don't need any more or any less than that. And I feel a huge difference. I was going through therapy up until October. And then I think I met with my therapist in November and we both decided that I really didn't need it anymore, that I had talked through all of the previous issues that I had dealt with. And again, please check out my video on the bad voices. And I think I'll probably in 2018 record a lot more videos about how I've dealt with some of the things that I've had to go through. I've had to cut out people from my life who were toxic, and that's something very important that I feel I should discuss at a later time. So yeah, November, I was finishing up school, and then in December, I had my practical exam and my final exam, and I've passed everything. I've gotten my 750 hours. I graduated on December 20th. And from there, I will admit, it's kind of scary. I think about, what if I don't pass my state board exam? What if I can't get a job? And then I have to stop myself and say, look, you finished school. Your teacher told you you were amazing. She has faith in you. Your friends and family have faith in you. You're good at this. I might not be perfect at makeup, but I love doing it. And I've had people tell me that I have a lot of talent. And that's not me fishing for compliments right now. I don't need to see 20 comments like, your makeup looks great, girl. Yeah. But, yeah, that's something that I'm really passionate about. I learned how to give facials and I'm really good at that. I want to go further in that and study more with, pressure point and lymph drainage and things like that are fascinating to me. I love learning more. And the great thing about going into aesthetics is that you do have to do continuing education to renew your license. So I will always be learning, and that's wonderful. And, I have to remind myself, you passed your final, you can do this. And I have that voice in my head now that's saying you can do this. And I'm hearing the people around me giving that extra confidence boost. And that is an amazing feeling, to go from this time last year telling myself you're worthless, you suck, you're never going to be able to amount to anything, to looking forward to 2018 and finding a career that I will love, finally finding a path that I love and look forward to. And, if I don't pass my state board, I can try again. You get so many times to try and pass it again. And when I do pass it, if I can't find a job in a salon, I can work for myself for a while. That's an option too. So it's not like, one door closes, another one is going to open. And that is a huge improvement on my mental state. So yeah, that's my 2017. I went from that moment when I wanted to really actually go through with killing myself to loving myself and wanting to do better. I'm planning on getting my health back. I was in a good place physically for a while, and I want to get back to exercising and watching what I eat and going into age 35 feeling fabulous and being amazing. So I hope some of you are learning something new about me, maybe learning something new about yourself and what you can accomplish. For those of you who are finding this video and you don't know me, please come find me on Twitter. You can find me there. My handle is @TheNerdyVixen. If you're someone who already has known me, you know how to get a hold of me. My ears are always open for somebody who wants to talk. And if you have anything you'd like for me to discuss in future videos, as I said, in going forward, I do want to try and make more videos talking about mental health because I've learned so much. And I want to help other people. I want to really, really stress that you are not alone. You are definitely not alone. There are people out there who care about you. When you are stuck in that place in your mind, you don't mean to be, but you've become very self-centered. You block off the love and support that you have because your brain is telling you that you don't deserve love, you don't deserve support, that they're just saying that. And please, I guess, before I go into this again, please watch my last video. I really want to help people. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist. I have a bachelor's in psychology, and that really didn't do me a lot of good. But I'm very good at listening and sharing what I've experienced because I've been there and I've been through it. And I know for a fact that if I can get help and feel good about myself, you can too. So yeah, I'm hoping to have this uploaded before the new year. My history of uploading things hasn't been the most stellar, and I hope I won't accidentally delete this video because we're going on a half an hour here, kids. So I hope you've stuck with me this whole time. Again, please reach out to me if you need someone to listen to you or some help. I hope that 2018 will be wonderful for us all. And I did not cover what's going on in the news for a reason. I get angry, I rant, and I didn't want to do that in this video, but let's hope that things get better in 2018 on that route as well. Another thing before I finish this, I also decided to get more into local politics. So I will be on the ballot in March as a precinct committeeman, committeewoman, committee person for my precinct that I live in my town for the Democratic Party. I am a Democrat. Sorry guys, if you're not, if you're listening to this and you're a Republican, we can all just agree to disagree. But I'm doing that. I went door to door and I got signatures, which is something I don't think I ever would have done before. And I never would have decided to run for something that I can be elected for. So I'm hoping being an elected precinct committee person will allow me to do more in my community and have more of a voice for those who don't have a voice. So that's what I'm doing. And who knows, that might lead to other avenues in politics. So again, I'm really excited to see what happens next year, and I hope that you all will be excited about 2018 as well. I know it's just another year, but moving forward, let's be excited, let's be proactive, let's do this. We are not alone in this struggle of life. All right, I really am terrible at ending things, but I'm seeing that I am actually getting close to the half-hour mark, so I will close this out now. Please all have a safe and happy New Year's Eve, and I'll see you all in 2018. Goodbye.